All Elite Wrestling makes its Australian debut with one of the most anticipated events of 2025 with AEW Grand Slam Australia. Now, that's going to be live in Brisbane, Saturday, 15th of February at Suncorp Stadium. And as we count down to the event, I'm joined by a former AEW Tag Team Champion, two-time AEW TNT Champion as well, Darby Allin. Welcome. It's so good to speak to you.
Yes, howdy, howdy. Thanks for having me on.
Now, man, we're chatting to you before this week's Dynamite, so thank you for taking a bit of time. But the past couple of months have been very chaotic on Wednesday nights with John Moxley and his Death Riders. They're causing a bit of chaos, and you have had a very big target on your back from Mox. So, how's it feel to be the hunted?
Uh, I'm used to it. I just want to stay in one piece and not end up going to the hospital. And, I feel like I'm dodging bullets after last week of getting thrown into the steel post by Claudio. I thought my ribs broke for a second. When I hit the ground, I was like, oh, but man, this is what I live for. I live for the craziness. I wouldn't have it any other way.
So, for those that might not know you, you're a 10-year veteran of the sport, and you've wrestled in Mexico, recently in Japan as well as part of Pro Wrestling Noah. Have you ever been to Australia before?
Never, never, ever.
Man, that's crazy because Grand Slam Australia, like we're all pumped for it. So, what's some of the things that obviously you'd like to perform in front of us? But are there any sites that you've seen when you've looked through Australia and be like, man, I need to do that?
There's a lot of skateboarding spots. It's like there's the skateboarding scene in Australia is huge. So like when I think of Australia, I think of skateboarding. So yeah, that I'd like to check out some of the parks and spots.
We got a pretty good surf culture to the part of the country you're going to be in next year too. So maybe see if you could score some annual leave from the boss and maybe stick back for a bit.
Yeah, no, no, I would like to. I hope it's not in and out. I hope that we actually get to like be there for a while because taking that flight all the way there just to leave right away would be like, oh no. But
So, man, you were part of AEW's first ever All In at Wembley last year, and Grand Slam for us is very going to be our take on it next February. I mean, so you had more than 80,000 fans in London. Now, Suncorp doesn't hold that much, but 50K isn't too much to shake at. And you're in a match at that event, tagging with Sting against Christian Cage and Swerve. Now, the crowd was huge. It was like a big arena show. Do you reckon you'll have that same feeling when you come down here, down under, and just feeding off the fans that just get to see AEW for the first time?
yeah, that's a big thing. Because we've never been to Australia. We haven't been to a lot of places yet. So the fact that we have this big fan base that hasn't even seen us perform live is so like huge that once we go down there, like performers wise, like we don't take anything for granted. We're gonna go out there and put our souls on the line. And I feel like we did that last year at Wembley, and to be here breaking new ground at in Australia, like I'm definitely definitely ready to go crazy. I just hope you guys have good hospitals.
Oh, we've got some of the best. We have got some of the best. You talk about Wembley as well too, because this year you took on Jack Perry in another absolute barnstorm, man. And we're like, oh, just on the quiet. A lot of people here in Australia are hoping that maybe Grand Slam will be our all in, and I know that it's just getting bigger and bigger. You're going to Texas next year, and but there's going to be more international pay-per-views and events like that. And do you find it's important to, as you sort of said, you have a lot of fans overseas that you get that connection because we watch you every single, I know the time difference, we watch you every Thursday live on ESPN here in Australia. We watch Collision, we watch everything, man. We get all the pay-per-views on Fight TV. Like it's a big bubbling audience that you're just scratching the surface of.
Yeah, AEW, it's only been around for 5 years, but what we're able to achieve in that short time, and the fact that we haven't been to so many places, I love traveling. I love, exploring and like meeting new fans and everything like that. And I feel like the U.S. fans might be a little spoiled and take for granted what they have. But I just put myself in the shoes of a fan living in a different country. If like my favorite band or my favorite, performer is coming to my neck of the woods, like I'm gonna go out there, and I'm really excited just to reach a whole new brand of audience. Like, so Suncorp Stadium, I'm ready to rock it. I know everybody else is, but like I said, I just hope you guys have good hospital.
Well, you are one of the mainstays of AEW, and when you guys burst on the scene 5 years ago, it put a real spotlight on, you know, guys like you, Orange Cassidy, MJF, like the Acclaimed. All of these guys made a huge splash, really stood out, and we're seeing this now too. I mean, Orange Cassidy, I feel 2025 is going to be the year that he breaks out and really impresses a lot of people, and he's got a world title shot at Full Gear in a couple of weeks' time, and you two tagged on Dynamite, and for those maybe listening at home or maybe watching this, who, in your eyes, are some of the guys and girls to watch on the roster, and that some of the Aussie fans should really keep an eye out before Grand Slam Australia?
The thing with AEW, I feel like it's there for the taking. Anybody who wants to step up and take a spot, like it's there for the taking. It's not the type of company where they're going to tell you, "Oh, hey, we got ideas for you. Let's." It's up to you to, kind of take the ball and run with it. So, in that sense, whoever is hungry, whoever wants to keep proving, like I think Kyle Fletcher is a good example of someone who, like last year, his partner Mark got injured, and he kind of didn't know what was next for him, but he took it upon himself to just have killer matches and then, really show through and break through. And I feel like it's there. It's there if you want it. It's there if you really, really want it. But yeah, I like that atmosphere because I like kind of being in charge and having to collaborate and think of something because I love just thinking on my feet and coming up with stuff.
So I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this, but from his debut in AEW to his absolute final match, you and Sting were like absolute brothers in arms. And we don't need to go through Sting's resume because we all know it. He's a legend in WCW, TNA, WWE, had that iconic final run in AEW, which I'll be quite honest, could not have been done without you there. It's always going to be linked to you. So what's it like for you as a wrestler, as a wrestling fan, and just as a person to have played a huge role in the legacy of Sting?
It's pretty crazy. Like it's validation for kind of staying true to your guns and like not changing anything. Because when you enter the world of pro wrestling, everybody's trying to tell you what to do or which road to take, and it's really intimidating. But if you just stay true to yourself and then have someone like Sting, like you meet Sting for the first time, he's like, "Hey, I like everything about you. Don't change a thing." You're, okay, I wasn't crazy. Like like I it's like I was doing something right, and to be a part of his last run was just complete validation for all the work. And I wouldn't have had it any other way. That guy was great, like super amazing, humble, best dude to be around by far. And I really feel like his last match was the greatest retirement match of all time. It was he definitely went out there with a bang, and I think he left nothing on the table that night. No regrets that night. He definitely did everything he could. So it's very awesome to be a part of that.
Well, man, Revolution is going to be one of those pay-per-views that just went down in history. It's going to be those ones that, 20 years from now, we'll all watch on DVD or whatever the format is then. We'll all catch up. And while you're being very, very complimentary of Sting, I mean, you and the Bucks did an absolute stellar job. But, man, I won't keep you too long because it's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you, Darby. But I really appreciate you taking the time to come chat to us and really look forward to seeing you at Grand Slam next February, man.
Yeah, just one more thing. I hope you guys have good hospitals.
Well, man, we certainly do. But if you want to see what happens beforehand, make sure you grab your tickets. AEW Grand Slam Australia, available from Ticketek right now. Darby Allin, been a pleasure. Hopefully, Dynamite tomorrow isn't going to be too much of a stress on you, man. And those Death Riders stay out of your business.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be wild, but like I said, I wouldn't have any other way. I love the chaos.